turn maklumat kadang-kadang cakap bahasa Melayu ni lagi laju, lagi banyak yang boleh disampaikan berbanding bahasa Inggeris. I need to take a slow time to structure my sentence. Okay, this time there's any international participant in this session like for this time, or is all of them are a local student, local people of Malaysia? Hmm. Sekejap sebab tak boleh nak buka speaker.
So far, all the participants are local.
Okay.
We can see from the participants, boleh nampak lah is local. Tapi if any international students, please inform us, yeah.
Okay. So without further ado, I can continue my talk. So I will touch about the RMCD and indirect taxation. Okay, update until yesterday lah, 16 of October 2023. Okay, what the scope that I will cover: structure and function of RMCD, type of taxes governed, FTA, simulation of tax calculation, study case, latest development on budget, and latest issue on indirect tax.
Oh, dah ada isu. Saya suruh student saya tanya isu.
Ya? Apa dia, Doktor?
Latest
Dah
issue
saya dah bagi isu.
indirect tax
Alamak,
letak kat last tu.
saya dah bagi idea. Okay, first subtopic is structure and function of RMCD. Okay, RMCD, Royal Malaysian Custom Department.
Tengok ni. Tengok apa? Tengok apa recording. Siapa yang jaga ni?
Ada masalah ke, Doktor?
Ada.
Ada Faiz tak ada, tapi dia orang terlupa dah unmute. Lupa nak mute. Sorry for the interruption.
Oh, saya ingatkan ada masalah tak boleh buka, jadi kena mula dari sekali ke apa? Okay.
It's okay.
Okay, RMCD divided to several division. First of foremost division is custom division that handle all the operation of custom, import, export, border control issue, and then second division is internal tax divisions, cover for the SST matters. The third one is the enforcement division, cover about the enforcement activity. The fourth one is a compliance divisions, cover for the audit and the internal audit matters. The next one is a technical service divisions, cover for the valuation, refund, and also classification issue. Then we have also a legal divisions. Those who are officer that in legal division will become our representative for the timbalan pendakwa raya lah, or we call prosecutor officer, to handle all the matters in the court. That officer, the PO, the prosecutor officer will become the prosecutor for whoever company or individual that make an offense under our rules and regulations. Then we have the Management Services and Human Resource Division, which is my division right now, that handle all the administration issue and the HR issue. Then we also have the academy. This academy is like a college that we train our new officer, and also we also do some study for our officer, so that our officer can have new knowledge and advanced knowledge related to the customs. Then we have the information technology division that's cover for the the IT matters. Then we have the corporate planning divisions that handle all the international relationship or whatever the FTA one between the MITI, all under the corporate planning division. Then we have the last one is the integrity branch. It's sub kind of my unit in Johor that cover for all the disciplinary action the officer or staff that breach the law lah. So I can conclude that my unit almost similar to the hal ehwal pelajar in university. So whichever that make a breach the rules and regulation, then must face the consequences lah. Okay, so uh, I stopped for a while because I want to share the second video. Hope everyone can listen to the next video, because this video will explain the detail about each of this division. Okay, wait.
Jabatan Kastam Diraja Malaysia merupakan sebuah agensi yang bernaung di bawah Kementerian Kewangan Malaysia dan diterajui oleh Ketua Pengarah Kastam Malaysia. JKDM memainkan peranan signifikan dalam memastikan kelangsungan sistem pungutan cukai tidak langsung dan kawalan sempadan negara melalui pemerkasaan aktiviti perkastaman, percukaian, penguatkuasaan serta perundangan. Berpaksikan etika perkhidmatan, amanah berkhidmat, ikhlas dan dedikasi, JKDM teguh menjulang visi, memelihara ekonomi dan mengawal sempadan ke arah negara progresif serta melaksanakan misi, kutipan hasil, fasilitasi perdagangan dan kawalan sempadan yang responsif melalui integrasi masyarakat dan teknologi demi merealisasikan slogan ekonomi dipelihara, sempadan dikawal. Sektor pengurusan JKDM diterajui oleh Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kastam Pengurusan dan terbahagi kepada 4 bahagian utama, yakni Akademi Kastam Diraja Malaysia, Bahagian Khidmat Pengurusan dan Sumber Manusia, Bahagian Perancangan Korporat dan Bahagian Teknologi Maklumat. Sektor ini berfungsi mengurus hal ehwal pentadbiran, mengukuh hala tuju jabatan dan mengendalikan sistem pengurusan maklumat. Selain itu, ke arah memperkukuh modal insan, cawangan integriti turut ditubuhkan di bawah pemantauan Ketua Pengarah Kastam Malaysia. Sektor kedua merangkumi 3 bahagian utama, iaitu bahagian perkastaman, bahagian cukai dalam negeri dan bahagian perkhidmatan teknik. Sektor ini dipimpin oleh Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kastam, Perkastaman dan Cukai Dalam Negeri. Bahagian perkastaman merupakan antara lapangan teras dalam JKDM. Bahagian ini berfungsi mengkaji dan melaksana dasar serta prosedur mengenai perindustrian, import, ekspor dan kawalan sempadan. Bahagian perkastaman juga bertanggungjawab memberikan fasilitasi perdagangan serta menjalinkan kerjasama di peringkat global. Seterusnya adalah bahagian cukai dalam negeri yang berfungsi mengawal pelaksanaan variasi cukai di bawah seliaan JKDM. Bahagian ini merangka perundangan serta membuat kajian terhadap dasar percukaian. Sebagai paksi utama dalam mencorak janaan hasil JKDM, bahagian cukai dalam negeri turut terlibat dalam menyelaras program konsultasi bersama agensi kerajaan, sektor swasta dan pihak industri. Berikutnya adalah bahagian perkhidmatan teknik yang bertindak mentadbir urusan berkaitan penilaian dan penjenisan barangan import, ekspor serta barangan bercukai. Bahagian perkhidmatan teknik juga bertanggungjawab memastikan segala kutipan dan tunggakan hasil diperakaunkan dengan tepat di samping memproses semua tuntutan mengikut perundangan. Sektor ketiga dalam Jabatan Kastam Diraja Malaysia melibatkan 2 bahagian signifikan, yakni bahagian penguatkuasaan dan bahagian pengurusan pematuhan. Kedua-dua bahagian ini diketuai oleh Timbalan Ketua Pengarah Kastam, Penguatkuasaan dan Pematuhan. Bahagian penguatkuasaan digerakkan oleh 5 cawangan iaitu cawangan risikan, cawangan siasatan, cawangan narkotik, cawangan pendakwaan penguatkuasaan ABT dan rayuan, serta cawangan operasi, marin dan khidmat sokongan. Selain berfungsi melaksanakan perundangan yang ditadbir, bahagian ini terlibat dalam operasi pemantauan dan turut menjalankan siasatan terhadap kes-kes yang diperoleh. Bahagian penguatkuasaan juga bertanggungjawab menjaga keselamatan dan kedaulatan perbatasan daripada dibolosi sindiket penyeludupan serta jenayah rentas sempadan. Seterusnya adalah bahagian pengurusan pematuhan yang berfungsi menjalankan auditan bagi mengesan sebarang ketidakpatuhan dan ketirisan dalam proses pungutan hasil. Bahagian pengurusan pematuhan juga berperanan mengaudit borang kastam yang melibatkan pergerakan keluar masuk dagangan di sempadan tanah air. Fungsi kedua-dua bahagian dalam sektor ketiga ini turut diperkukuh oleh bahagian perundangan, khususnya bagi urusan yang melibatkan proses pendakwaan dan undang-undang. Jabatan Kastam Diraja Malaysia sentiasa komited menzahirkan amanah ke arah memperkasa keunggulan imej dan memangkin kecemerlangan prestasi selaras dengan aspirasi slogan jabatan, ekonomi dipelihara, sempadan dikawal.
So, macam mana? Okay. So, we go back to our slide. So, that's the introduction, the customs. Okay, RMCD. There's a three type of function of RMCD. We divide into three: revenue collection, trade facilitation, and border control. That's the RMCD missions. For the vision is safeguarding the economy and securing the frontier towards progressive nation, and our slogan is safeguard economy, secure the frontier. So that's the slogan and vision for our RMCD. Wait, So for the last one, Okay, we go back to our slide. So then we go to the second subtopic. So okay, for the introduction of the RMCD. So I hope student can understand basic what is the RMCD and what is their function. So we go to the second subtopic, which is the type of taxes governed under the RMCD. So we have several tax handled by the RMCD, which is the most one is the customs duty. Customs duty divided into import and export. Then we have now is the sales and services tax, or we can call SST 2.0. Before this, we have a goods and services tax. Then another one, we have the excise duty. There's several items that subject to the excise duty, which is the sugar sweetened beverages, motor vehicle, alcoholic beverages, cigarettes, mahjong tiles, poker cards. Then we have the tourism tax, which is a tax charge or levy on a tourist staying at any accommodation premises made available by an operator at the rate of tax fixed RM10 per room per night. Then we have a departure levy that must be paid a person who departs from Malaysia to overseas. Then we have the service tax on digital services, which is a charge and levy on any digital service provided by a foreign registered person to any consumer in Malaysia. That's the tax, the main tax governed by the RMCD. Next, we have also several laws and regulations administered by the RMCD, such as a Free Zone Act, Service Tax, Sales Tax, Good Vehicle Levy Act, Tourism Tax, Excise Act, and others laws, Countervailings and Anti-Dumping Duties Act, Law Reform, Eradication of Illicit Samsu Act, ATIPSOM, Anti-Trafficking in Person and Anti-Smuggling of Migrant Act, AMLAT 4, Anti-Money Laundering, Anti-Tourism Financing and Proceeds of Unlawful Activities Act, and others. So, as you know, function of MCD is the revenue collection, trade facilitation, and border control. Okay. Okay, now we go to the Customs Act and subsidiary legislation. So the main act that we have the source of power lah, means in bahasa we call punca kuasa, how the RMCD stand and do their work is based on the Custom Act. So Custom Act we call as the Mother's Act or primary law. Then under the Custom Act we have the subsidiary legislation such as regulation and customs order. The regulation we have several of custom regulations such as Custom Regulation 2019, Custom Compounding or Offence Regulation 2020, Custom Import License Fee for Motor Vehicle Regulation 2015. And for the custom order, we have more than 20, if I'm not mistaken, such as a custom duties order, custom duties exemption, custom prohibition of import, custom prohibition of export, custom prohibition of removal order, custom duties Langkawi order, custom values of imported completely built up motor vehicle, new, and others. So that subsidiary legislation, which is the regulation and orders, must read together with the act. And also other than these three, we have also notification that were gazetted under the federal government law. So this just one act. We have several acts such as the service tax, sales tax. That act also have a similar like custom acts because they also have their own regulation and orders. So you can calculate lah how much the reference of federal government law and legislation that we need to refer and study before any action be taken, if any individual or company do some offense or break the law. Okay. GST versus SST 2.0. Okay, before this, we have the goods and services tax. I'm not sure whether the student have experience with GST before, because maybe during that time, most of you are in the secondary or primary school. I'm not sure. So, okay, the GST introduced in Malaysia on 1st April, replacing the SST 1.0, and then it was repealed on 31st August and revert to SST 2.0. Okay, this is one kind of indirect tax charged on consumption using value-added basis through multi-stage transaction of business at each level of production, distribution, services until the product reach to the final consumer. For the GST, before during the GST period last time, the threshold are 500,000. We have the standard rate, zero rate, and exempted. Then for the return that the licensee or the taxpayer need to submit is either monthly or quarterly basis. Comparing with the SST 2.0, SST 2.0 is composed of two type of acts, which is the Sales Tax Act and the Service Tax Act. You must remember the GST just one act, but the SST 2.0 is compromised by the two type of act. It's come into operation on 1st September 2018 to replace the GST. So the taxable commodities manufactured or sold in Malaysia, as well as taxable item imported into Malaysia, are subject to sales tax, while service tax is only levied on taxable services provided in Malaysia and on imported services subject to service tax listed, but not charged on exported services, single stage levy. So this sales tax, SST pun is single stage levy only. So presently, the SST threshold are 500 and 1.5 million. 500 for the manufacturer, 1.5 million for the food and beverages services. Rates is between 5, 6, 10 or specific rate, which is the RM25. But most of them is the 6. And the return need to submit is the 2 monthly basis. So what is the difference between the GST and SST 2.0 other than what I list down? So we can go check with the other reference. So this is the comparison of the tax system between the sales SST and GST. SST is a more narrow tax base, while the GST the broad tax base. SST a cascading and compounding index. Okay. No complete relief for export, while under the GST, export are zero rated and eligible to claim input tax. SST have some kind of kelemahan lah, which is the for the transfer pricing issue, while the GST will minimize the transfer pricing issue. For the SST, we have quite a lot of classification issue. Under the GST, we have a minimal classification issue, and SST productivity, which is the sales tax productivity, has been declining over the years, while the GST will increase in tax productivity. Okay, before we go further, I forgot to share with you, which is the why the government need to collect the tax. Okay, as you can see, this is the chart by the Ministry of Finance on economic reports, you can see the tax revenue over total revenue breakdown into three types: direct tax, indirect tax, and non-tax revenue. So whatever the revenue collect by the RMCD is classified under the indirect tax revenue lah. So over the year, we can see quite significant increase of the collection. So the 2013 just the estimated figure given by the Ministry of Finance lah under this the economic reports. Okay, we go to the next. Okay, under the tax governed by the RMCD, we have several facilitation that we provide to the industry or the industry player so that can ease their business or can give some kind of facility to them, such as the license warehouse, customs warehouse. Okay, for all of these information, I just explained just a basic one, but if you need further information, you can check with our department website. I'll show you how to check. You go to our official department website. You go to the facilitation. Then under the facilitation, you can see what is the facility that we given to the taxpayer or the industry. So they can use some kind of license warehouse. What is license warehouse? Gudang lesen is gudang untuk menyimpan barang berduti atau cukai yang diluluskan oleh Ketua Pengarah Kastam. Barangan yang digudangkan ni pembayaran cukainya ditangguhkan sehingga barangan dikeluarkan untuk penggunaan tempatan atau diekspor sebelum, meaning that partial it can use as this warehouse can use as for the storage. Then if let's say the local consumer want to buy it, then they came out from the warehouse, pay the tax, then the goods can sell. Or if let's say the goods will be to export, then they no need to pay the tax, then can go straight to the port and for the export. So other than that, some kind of licensed manufacturing warehouse. This is the export-oriented company license under the Custom Act to carry out manufacturing activity, including warehousing of raw material and finished good. Okay, if let's say you see the previous video, the earlier one, the first video, you see that there's a one officer, the male officer that check the goods under the warehouse, which is the keep under the cage. There's a warehouse with the cage. Okay, that's the LMW, that storage of the raw materials. But for your information, certain raw materials under the LMW have tax and doesn't have tax. So whatever that have tax but doesn't pay the tax yet are keep in the cage of the storage in the warehouse. But whichever the raw material that are not taxable, I mean, no need to pay the tax, but will be used for the production in the future, then they will keep outside of the cage in the warehouse. So that's basically of the LMW lah. So LMW, when the company produce the goods, the finished goods, at least 20% they have a right to sell it locally, meaning that they can take it out from the LMW warehouse and sell it locally. But before they sell it locally, they need to pay the tax. The another 80%, they will export it to the country of the buyer, such as maybe Europe or Thailand or whatever. Then whatever the goods export, no need to pay the tax. So that's the one kind of facility given under the customs. Okay. We also have one kind of facility. We call it the authorized economic operator, which is this some kind of concept. EO is concept introduced by the Safe Framework of Standard, involved in the movement of goods along the international trade supply chain who have achieved the required security standard and accredited by the member of country. So the EO scheme is developed by the RMCD based on the WTO punya safe framework. So encourage electronic transaction for better security management for the supply chain. So you can check how the company work under the AEO. You can check it to our website. Then we have also the free zone. Free zone is a kind of kawasan bebas cukai. I mean, kawasan yang dikecualikan dari pembayaran duty custom, duty excise dan cukai jualan bagi tujuan penghilangan or trading or aktiviti perdagangan. So maksudnya free zone is referring to mana-mana bahagian Malaysia yang diisytiharkan di bawah peruntukan subsection tersebut adalah suatu zon perdagangan bebas atau zon penindasan bebas. So maknanya apa-apa aktiviti perdagangan atau penghilangan dalam tu memang tidak terkena cukai, tidak dikenakan cukai. But if the goods are delivered outside of that area, if let's say they need to transship to the port or transship to the border, some kind of the Singapore, then they no need to pay, just using the certain form to declare. But if let's say they come to the kawasan utama custom, meaning that is the area outside of the free zone, if let's say some kind of a JB or maybe around Changlun, then the goods must be paid the tax at the entry exit of the free zone area. So that's we call the free zone lah. Okay, so we have a lot quite facilitation, some kind of free trade agreement. So we cover another next subtopic, rules of regulation, preferential tariff treatment, which is we have a bilateral agreement within certain block of country or two side of country. Then whatever their goods when come into the Malaysia, they can enjoy the reduce of the tariff of the import, or vice versa to our side also. When our goods deliver into their country, into the participating member of country, then our goods also will reduce the tax on their side also. Okay, we go to the sales tax. Okay, under the sales tax and the service tax, almost similar. The facilitation we given, we have the for the sales tax, we have a free zone and licensed manufacturing warehouse. They can enjoy the exemption. And for the designated area or special area also cover some kind of, have you heard about the Pulau Langkawi, Pulau Tioman? That's we call the Pulau Zone Bebas. And or in the rules we call designated area. So they also enjoy the exemption from the tax or from the duty. So that's kind of facilitation under the certain tax law. Okay, we go to the next slide. Okay, there's a two quite what we call the bidang yang priority lah, bidang yang utama dalam custom ni. We call it classification and valuation. What is the classification? What is the valuation? Both are important because for us, MCD, we treat this kind of classification and valuation is like our heart and our liver. If both are not good or not handled properly, then it will affect to the whole body of the department. So, okay, what is classification? Classification is which is the custom tariff code, which is the goods are classified into respective product category. The objective of classification is to determine the correct tariff rates for the assessment of duties and tax, and also to check whether the product are fall under the custom prohibition of import or export. The duty rates are determined according to the class of good under the HS. HS is referred to the harmonized system, commodity system, irrespective of the value of the goods. The framework for the classifying goods is developed and maintained by the World Customs Organization, WCO, through the International Convention on the Harmonized Commodity Description and Coding System, which is commonly referred to the Harmonized System or HS. The HS is the universal economic language and code for the goods, and an indispensable tool for international trade. It's widely used by the government, international organization, and private sector for the purpose such as internal taxes, trade policy, monitoring of control goods, rules of origin, transport statistic, price monitoring, economic analysis, or etc. For the valuation is some kind of the process where the custom authorities assign a monetary value to a good or service for the purpose of import or export as a means of protecting tariff concession, revenue for the governing authority, implementing trade policy, and protecting public health and safety. According to the WCO, custom value of goods for the purpose of levying ad valorem duties of custom, which is the ad valorem duties are duties that are calculated based on the value, referring to the Article 1 of the Guide 1994, the custom value of the imported goods shall be the transaction value, or we call TVA. That's the price actually paid or payable for the goods when sold for export to the country of importation, adjusted in accordance with the provision of Article 8, provided with the several condition. So that's the surface of what is the classification and what is the valuation. Then we go to the third subtopic, free trade agreement. So this subtopic I will go quite faster lah. This free trade agreement, what is the free trade agreement? Free trade agreement is a treaty or agreement according to the international law to form a free trade area between the cooperating state, meaning that the FTA is a form trade pact determining the tariff and duties that a country impose on imports and export with the goal of reducing and eliminating trade barriers, thus encouraging international trade. Such an agreement usually center on a chapter providing preferential tariff treatment, but also often include clauses on trade facilitation and rulemaking in areas such as investment, intellectual property, government procurement, technical standards, sanitary and phytosanitary issue. Okay, what are the benefit if let's say the government or one of the government sign for the free trade agreement? What the benefit? There's quite a lot of benefit, such as the promote trade and creates dynamic business environment, minimize government spending and boost the economy, encourage FDI, give local firm access to a new and emerging technologies, increase access to high quality or low price good, improve protection of intellectual property, allow exporter to participate in development of product standard in the FTA partner country, and also encourage the efficient allocation of resources. Certain country can specialize in their production, such as Malaysia and Indonesia specialize in palm oil. So certain country maybe specialize in wheat, rice, or something else. And also encourage for the international competitiveness. Okay, what about the pros one, the disadvantage of the free trade agreement? So it also can influence the unemployment rate, maybe more difficult to establish new business and new industry if are not protected from a larger foreign competitors. The production supplies from some country may be dumped in our country or vice versa. And also maybe encourage environmental and responsible production methods, because producer in some nation may produce good at lower cost while another can have a high cost to produce certain goods. Okay, FTAs they differ from custom unions, which is parties to FTA maintain independent to set their own tariff on import from non-partisan. By contrast, all signatory to a custom union commit to apply the same external tariff to non-signatories. Okay, so you can read it in detail later. Okay, currently until 16th of October 2023, Malaysia have signed 17 FTA. 17 FTA, which is 7 bilateral and 10 is regional. Okay, the bilateral between Malaysia and Japan, Malaysia and Pakistan, Malaysia and New Zealand, Malaysia and India, Malaysia and Chile, Malaysia and Australia, and Malaysia and Turkey. That's the bilateral. We have 7. For the regional side FTA, Malaysia as a member of the ASEAN country, we have the ASEAN Trade in Goods Agreement ATIGA. We have the ASEAN and China. ASEAN is a block of the ASEAN country. ASEAN with the Korea, ASEAN with the Japan, ASEAN with the Australia and New Zealand. We have also the ASEAN with India, ASEAN with the Hong Kong, and also Malaysia have under the goal of developing 8 preferential tariff agreement between the 8 members, which are the Malaysia, Indonesia, Turkey, Iran, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Egypt, and Pakistan. And then last year we already effective date here, 18 March, we have the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement between ASEAN Bloc and China, Japan, Australia, New Zealand, and South Korea. The latest one, we have the CPTPP. Before this is referred as the TPPP, which is the US, something like this. But during the Donald Trump era, he already take it out from this agreement. So just the latest one is the members CPTPP is between Malaysia, Australia, Japan, New Zealand, Mexico, Singapore, Canada, Vietnam, Peru, Brunei, and Chile. Later, I heard that the UK also interested to join this pack of the CPTPP, but they are just issue the interested to join, but not yet to become a member. I mean, official member, not yet. But still, the members will have a talk to the representative from the UK. Cool. So this is the RCEP, which is between the ASEAN and the country that I told you earlier, between Japan, China, New Zealand, Australia. So this is the RCEP. Then the latest one, which is the CPTPP. Okay, so United Kingdom is the acceding country lah. So what the chapter or cover under the CPTPP is that I round down on the screen lah. You can see. So that's all for the third subtopic. So everybody okay? Semua okay ke? Ke semua dah hanyut? Okay, I hope everybody can understand lah what I try to explain. So we go to the fourth subtopic, simulation of tax calculation. For the indirect tax, it's not understandable ataupun not complete if you are not understand how to calculate the indirect tax under the RMCD. So there's several methods that used to do the calculation of tax. There's 5 kinds. It's the identify. So first of all, when you given the information, you must identify the information before do the tax calculation. So you need to know what is the goods, what is the quality, value, quantity, rate of currency, because for the importation and assessment need to pay under the ringgit Malaysia, even though the transaction import and export do in the USD dollar, US dollar, but for the assessment of tax must be in the ringgit Malaysia. Second one, you must identify and know the tariff code of the goods. Tariff code refer to the classification, because the tariff code will determine the rate of tax and duty effective and permit needed if there are. Then the third one, calculate the duty and tax accordingly. So then you get the value of duty tax accordingly, then they will total up. That's the 5 method to do the tax calculation. So everybody okay? Yeah? We go to the next simulation. So there's a certain calculation that I will sharing with you, because every item quite a different technique, but actually the basic one is still same, but you must understand lah the basic. Okay, uh, whoever that refer to my previous slide, if you are still remember, the normal item I used last time is the plastic comb. But now I changed to another different one. So hope you can use your understanding lah to help me to calculate to get the answer. So I got the information. There's a import company import glass cup, which is the quantity of the 50,000 kilogram. Country of origin is from China. Value of FOB OCIF, the USD $2 per kilogram. So the tariff code is 7013.37.0000. So please do calculation for me. Identify the information and do the calculate. Okay. So can anyone give me the answer? I hope the accounting student are quite faster in the calculation, because for your information, my basic degree are not from the accounting or business. I'm the science pure students, not good in the do the calculation. So if you get the answer, you can check whether your answer is tally with mine or not. Okay. Have you get the answer? Is it same with me? Then please calculate the import duty. How you get the import duty? Then also you calculate how to get the sales tax. So have you get the same value of mine? So how much the importer need to pay to the RMCD for the duty and the tax? So you got same answer with me? So I hope you can get lah. Okay. You see, certain goods when coming into Malaysia, the quantity are using are the kilogram. But if you double check with the market, have you bought the glass cup using pieces or kilogram? Similar also with the the certain item like corn, plastic item, the unit and quantity under the customs duties order are using kilogram. But when the market sell it, they are selling in the pieces. They are not selling in a kilogram. Similar also with the textiles, kain that they are using, yang student or the ladies using for buat baju kurung whatever. When you are buying, you are buy from the jacker, gulatis in the meter, right? 4 meter, 2 meter, 3 meter, maybe 5 meter. But for your information, the textile, when they are import inside Malaysia, they are using kilogram. So the rate of value FOB or CIF is the base per kilogram. So you are as a smart student under the business or accounting, you can calculate how much the profit this company can achieve. If let's say the value per kilogram, maybe they declare maybe 10, 50 per kilogram. So can you imagine one gulung of textile woven fabric, how much meter they can produce to do the baju kurung or whatever, or maybe baju Melayu or whatever. So because that's the importation of the valuation. Because if the custom officer are not familiarized or understand the valuation, we will be cheated by the importation when they are declared under value, meaning that their value, they are sell it to the market, and the value they declare to us much big gap. So the profit, they will enjoy the profit lah, but the government will get a less tax lah. So that's the importation of the valuation, other than classification, to determine the right tariff code and the right tax rate. Okay. Okay. Before we go to the next study case, I will stop by to we go to the next slide for calculation of the what we call calculation for the alcoholic beverages and the cigarettes. So, okay, this is another slide. Actually, this slide is I'm using last time when I teach the police officer to do the calculation of tax and duty for the goods that are seized or rampas from the illegal syndicate or whatever. So this the calculation for the rokok and minuman keras. So the reference is this. So, okay, barang-barang rampasan ni mostly from the enforcement agency is the alcoholic beverages and cigarettes, some kind of firecrackers, mercon, tayar. Okay, this is the investigation officer punya function. You just no need to pay lah. Okay, this is the classification for the beverages of beer. So you can see the beer is a unit using the liter. And whoever that drink the beer, you know that one can, there's not the volume are not liter, but mostly the ml, some kind of 300 something, 500 something. But you see they are subject to the duty import, RM5, duty export, excise, and cukai jualan, sales tax. Then we also have a wine, sparkling wine, quite high. The duty, the excise also quite high. We have a grape wine. Whatever that I share you, I'm not encouraging you to drink the alcoholic beverages. For the Muslim, please avoid. But for the non-Muslim, it's up to you lah. But please don't drink and drive. Okay, so this is the classification for and the rate duty for the wine or the alcoholic beverages. Then we have the fermented beverages like sake, toddy, rice wine, spirit, brandy, whiskey, gin, Geneva, vodka, liquor, rum. Okay, for the tobacco, mostly we have cigar, BDs, clove. Okay, the rokok putih that people smoke, this is the under the cigarettes containing tobacco is other 2402.209000. The duty import is the unit a kilogram, but the tax is calculated based on stick, 20% per stick, duty export none, duty excise 40% per stick, and plus minus another sales tax 10%. So there's another manufactured tobacco like smoking tobacco, water pipe tobacco. Okay. So, okay, how to calculate the alcoholic beverages? First of all, you need to know the data harga asas. So, like 1 liter, how much? Then you need to know the HS code for the determination of rate of duty import, excise and sales tax. Then you need to know the isi padu, the volume, how much ml under the 1 can bottle, including the alcoholic percentage. Then the price. Then you can calculate the duty import, duty excise and cukai jualan. That's the formula. So we go to the trial and error for you to try. So I have a case. Can someone give me the answer for the A, B, C, D, and E? DI is refer to duty import. DE is refer duty excise. CJ is refer to the sales tax. Cukai jualan. So anyone want to try? So please show your expertise in calculation. Because this talk during the evening session can be quite boring because the subject are quite dry. So that's why I put some kind of calculation test to make it your brain working. So Fasha Shahi also give the answer. Anyone want to try before I share my answer? Okay. Okay, this is my answer. Is it same whatever you get? Okay. Then we go to the second case. You can try it. Hello. Yes, salam. Ya, dia ada dalam apa ni bantuan cukai jualan. Itulah cukai jualan, cukai mantan bagi sebut. Dalam bantuan apa perintah. Pasal dia bagi semua sebut. Memang dia digezetkan. Bantuan kalau saya. Bantuan tu perintah. Tapi bantuan kena check bagi tuan. Buat macam dulu nama dia pejabat cukai dalam negeri. Okay, okay, boleh kan. Okay, sorry, I got a important call. So this is the answer. So okay, next we go to the cigarettes. How to calculate the cigarette? First of all, you must have a data harga asas for the 1 stick. Then you must need to know the tariff code. Then you need to know how much the total of the stick according to the tariff code. jenis and brand. So you calculate for the duty import 20 cent per stick, excise 40 cent per stick, then the sales tax is 10% for the total harga asas, duty import and excise. So we try one test. So anyone can try for me, give me the answer. For the first test, rokok putih Canyon Menthol 20 stick. Anyone can try? If let's say your answer is correct, maybe you can claim your present from the organizer. So the answer, so this is the answer. You get same as me, as mine. Okay, we go to the, okay, that's the for the alcoholic beverages and cigarettes. Then we go for the, okay, I show you this kind of calculation for the motor vehicle. How to determine the, okay, there's this one case that I'm do the assessment on 2019. The Audi model A8 3.0 Quattro model 2015 engine with the power of engine 2995 cc. Okay. The FOB from the headquarters is GBP, Great Britain pound 52,750 after minus with the VAT 20%. Then because the assessment are doing on 2019, but the model of the car is 2015, meaning that this is a used car. The age of car during the assessment is 3 years, 7 months, 23 days. So they have a susut nilai for the value. So the susut nilai is minus with the 15%, then also minus with the 55%. Then because more than 2 years, also got a discount another 35%. So the nilai FOB is Great Britain pound 13,114.97. So during that time, the currency exchange is 5.1981. You change to the ringgit Malaysia, plus with the insurance 1.5 for the FOB and the surcharge the freight tambang. So the SCIF custom value is 70,198.52. So under this code, the 8703.238590 that time, the rate of duty for the import duty is 30%. So you calculate the 30% from the CIF value. Then for the excise, you calculate. Then for the sales tax, you plus duty import value, excise value, plus with the CIF value times with the 10%. So the overall tax need to pay and duty is 137,514.16. That's the total value of tax and duty paid to the RMCD. Okay, that's one of example show you how to calculate. So you know why the motor vehicle, imported motor vehicle quite significant to the tax under the indirect tax because it gives a quite high value for the collection, revenue collection. Then we go to the next slide. So I already cover Wait, ah. Wait, wrong slide. Okay, we go to the next slide. The fifth subtopic, study case impacts and goals. Okay, I share with you there's a one case under declared transaction that audited by the Customs Johor last time. So you can see the company are trying to cheat the value of the declare and the value of the actual payment made to the suppliers abroad. So there's a kind of gap between the difference. Then the customs auditee already check and find out the finding. Then we claim lah. I mean we tuntut back the difference. So the auditor finding, the auditor issue the bill of demand amount 190,000 to 4.6 grade to the company, consists of the GST import, the SST import, and compound recommendation none. So if the company are not agree with the bill of demand, then we'll bring this case to the court for the final judgment. So I'm also share what is the custom declaration. So you can read later on. Next. Okay, there's a several case that I share with you. You can read later on based on the link given. The latest one is the joint venture with other enforcement agency for the case kekurangan beras putih tempatan lah between the Kawal Selia Beras and KPDN SCP for the issue of the right-wise, local right-wise. Next slide. Okay, for the impacts and goals of RMCD agency, collect revenue, facilitation, enforcement and compliance for border control, and also last time during the COVID pandemic, we also help to facilitate the movement of relief goods and vaccine across the border. So, okay, next I share with you several case of offense and penalties. You can check with the NST on April 30, 2015. There's a company provide the food and beverages services because not issuing the 2000 tax invoice, which is not contain details. Then the restaurant committed the offense, then charged under the section 32 subbracket 2B of GST Act, and can provide a fine not more than 30,000 or maximum jail. Then fixed bail for one surety for the mentioned case. So I'm not sure whether the owner will charge or not later on. So you can find out lah. So the next case, quite latest one from Tawau, because the company failing to furnish service tax payment and also failed to make service tax payment and penalties lah. So the company, according to the fact of the case, the owner of the company, they submit the sales and service tax return SST220 but fail to pay the amount of service tax. So still, they are still make offense. So you can read more for the reference later on. Then we go to the next case in Kota Kinabalu. The businessman failing to submit the SST return according to the prescribed period. Then from the period of February 2019 until August 2022. So can you imagine how much long time that he didn't submit the SST20 return? So that's the several case of the I share you lah for the offense and penalties. Okay, is everyone okay? Then we go to the next slide. Okay, this the next slide. We have a two kind of subtopic. One, I will touch about the budget 2023. The next one, I'll touch a little bit about budget 2024. So please clear in your mind and enjoy the slide. One, the previous budget give the propose the equipment used for the carbon capture and storage technology by companies undertaking CCS in-house activity or CCS services will be given full import duty and sales tax exemption starting from 1st January 2023 until 31st of December 2027. But the application must be received by the Ministry of Finance from 25 February 2023 until the 31st of December 2027. So this is one of the tax incentive for the carbon capture and storage technology lah for the company they're using. So you can see the picture I share with you. So what kind of the technology or equipment or involving with the CCS technology. Next, we go to the second one. Import duty and sales tax exemption on studio and filming production equipment. The government give proposed import duty and sales tax exemption on studio and film production equipment, which is the provider of studio equipment, production and post-production service for a period of 3 years. The application must be received by MOF from 1st April to 2023 until 31st of March 2026. So we give full import duty and sales tax exemption for the equipment buying. Next, tax incentive for the Bionexus status company. So previously they are given the granted for the exemption, but now the application be extended another 2 years until 31st of December 2024, which is the application must be received by the Malaysian Bioeconomy Development Corporation. Next, we go to the import duty and sales tax exemption for the nicotine gum and nicotine patch. In line to support the MQUIT program and encourage the use of nicotine replacement therapy for a medical treatment option for the smoking cessation. So sesiapa yang nak berhenti merokok tu, you can buy this kind of product lah, but must have a consultation with the doctor first, the medical practitioner, because you can enjoy lah the import duty and the sales tax, so that the price may be quite low lah because there's no duty and tax. Next, extension of tax incentive for the electric vehicle. Previously, we have the indirect tax exemption for the locally assembled electric vehicle, CKD electric vehicle, and CBU electric vehicle. But government proposed to extend until 2027 for the certain category. So whoever got quite a lot of money for the time being, buy lah the electric vehicle, because after the 2025, not sure the tax incentive will be given again or not. Next, there are purpose of the excess duty and sales tax exemption on the sale or transfer or disposal of individual owned taxis Before this 7 years, but now the age of the vehicle is reduced to the 5 years. So whatever the application received by the RMCD from 1st March, then you can enjoy lah this excise and sales tax exemption when the currently taxi want to change a new car one. So dispose or transfer to the individual hak milik. So then they no need to pay any excise or sales tax, got exemption. Then we also have the voluntary disclosure program. Previously, the custom already already organized this kind of VA program, but now we propose the second one, so the VDP, voluntary disclosure program, which is implemented with the 100% penalty remission from 1st of June until 31st of May 2024. You can check the further notice on our website myvdp.custom.gov.my. Okay, wait. Hmm. Okay, so we go to the second subtopic, budget on the latest one, budget 2024. So there's a certain tax incentive for the expert program, returning expert program. It's cover for the direct and indirect, but I will touch about the indirect only. So forever the expertise from the overseas come to Malaysia or return back to the Malaysia and working here, they will get granted the tax incentive such as the excise duty for the purchase of CKD vehicle up to 100,000 exemption. But the application must received by the Thailand Corporation from 1st January 2024 until 31st of December 2027. But currently, if you are the expertise come back right now, they can enjoy CBU and the CKD up to 100,000. But next year, just given to for the CKD vehicle only, not the CBU one. CBU need to pay fully. Okay, next we go to the second one, manufacturing aids. So proposed in the budget speech that import duty and sales tax exemption be given to the eligible manufacturer on the importation of locally produced manufacturing aids. Okay, what is the manufacturing aids? Manufacturing aids is any good used in manufacturing process to accelerate and to further improve, complete or complement the manufacturing process of the goods manufactured, such as example lubricant, jigs, mold, mounting materials, chemical cleaners, and sandpaper. That's some kind of example. Next, review of the excise duty on sugar sweetened beverages. Currently, whichever goods covered under the tariff code 22.02 and 220.09 40% per litre. But starting on the 1st January 2024, government will be increased another 10%, will become total 50% per litre. This aim to improve the health and well-being of the rakyat, especially to prevent the diabetic disease and obesity. So before this, I didn't share to you how to calculate the sugar sweetened beverages, right? So now for the next, I share to you how to calculate the excise duty or the sweetened beverages. So I have two situations. The first one is a locally manufacturer, the Yosoya manufacturer. So the company already licensed under Section 20 Excise Act. Then he want to bring up 10,000 cans of soya drink from their factory. So the question is how much the excise duty and sales tax next to be paid by this company. So first of all, you need to understand what is the tariff code of this good and the rate of excise duty and the sales tax. Okay, the excise duty still currently is 40% per litre, and the sales tax rate is a 10%. So how to calculate? So that's the calculation. Excise duty quantity of litre must find out in the litre times with the excise duty. Then you get the answer. For the sales tax, sales value plus with the excise duty times with the sales tax rate. So you get the answer. So the situation A is for the locally manufactured. Then we go to the situation B. Situation B is the imported sweetened beverages from the overseas. So how much the import duty, excise duty, and the sales tax necessarily paid by this company? So what the step? So you must find out what tariff code given and what this rate of the subject of this item. So the calculation. So you can check whether my calculation is correct or not. So that's the import duty, excise duty, and the sales tax calculation. So how much the total? Then you mix up lah the import duty value, excise duty value, and sales tax value. So that's the total value that this company need to pay for to the RMCD. So you can understand. So the calculation for the sweetened beverages. Next, we go to the imposition of excise duty on chewing tobacco. Okay, before this, chewing tobacco excise duty are not applicable, meaning that it's a nil. But starting on the 1st January, it will given the same rate as the snuff tobacco, 5% plus with the RM27 per kilogram. Next, okay, this is quite interesting. The service tax rate will be increased to 8%, but it's not applicable on food and beverages services and telecommunication services. However, the taxable scope of taxable service will include the logistic, brokerage, underwriting, and karaoke services. So whoever love to karaoke, please enjoy this year before next year. Or whoever love to buy online shopping, don't terkejut or marah if let's say the courier charge will be increased starting next year, because the taxable service will include with the logistic. So just wait for the gazetted statutory order to coming next year. So this is the latest news that I get from The Age today. So the Putrajaya expect SST hike to bring additional RM3 billion revenue for the next year. And also MITI also monitor the impact of raised SST on Malaysian industry lah. So you can read later on when I share this slide with you for you to increase your knowledge. Next, we have introduction of the luxury goods or high value goods tax that will maybe in their plan to introduce next year between 5 to 10%, such as jewelry and watch, based on the threshold value of the price good. So whoever got much more money, please buy jewelry this year or watch this year. If not, next year, you'll be charged additional tax. So this is the subtopic of the last one I share with you. I hope you can follow. Is it quite fast? You follow? It's okay. So without further ado, go to the latest issue on the indirect tax. Okay. last time during June, International Monetary Fund issued the news about to Malaysia. They asked Malaysia to develop a revised revenue strategy to boost lower taxes because Malaysia tax revenue as 2021 is just 11% from the GDP. So the IMF asked the government to come up with a strategy how to increase the tax or how to increase the revenue to cover for the expenditure or to cover for the development cost lah. That's the first issue. Second issue is by the World Bank economist. He made a statement that Malaysia could have made 19 billion more in tax revenue last year if they had implemented the GST instead of existing SST. But that's his opinion. So you can argue or you can agree or disagree with the statement. I just highlight what because he is quite we call the economist from the World Bank. Next statement from the Deputy Finance Minister on September 18 last month. It mentioned that now is not the right time to introduce GST in the country due to the slowing growth of the global economy. The Deputy Finance Minister said the government has other avenue to increase the country revenue apart from re-implementing the GST. He said that the MOF have a better fiscal document, including targeted subsidies. So with all this method, we can manage our fiscal needs without resorting to GST for now. As he said, you can check the reference that I given on the. So that's the third issue. Next, okay, this is quite interesting issue. The fourth one, single tax agency. On September last time, 2023, from the SM Tanah Vermalai. I'm not sure. He may be from the expertise from the consulting service managing director. He mentions that there's a suggestion to merge the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia with the RMCD. Justify because both agencies are dealing with the numbers and accounting information of the taxpayers' business. I mean, the company business. But however, the contrast is RMCD also involved with the collection of custom duties, excise duty, and sales tax on imports. Other than that, RMCD also handle the trade facilitation and the border control issue through the enforcement. So, how to merge the IRB and RMCD? So, this is another kind of issue to establish the single tax agency. Next, we go to the next issue. It's quite latest one. Single border agency. I'm not sure whether the lecturer are alert about this, but in our department, this issue, the STA and SBA, quite shocked to us lah. Okay, the minister mentioned, the Home Minister mentioned that they want to propose establish of the single border agency to regulate the border control, to replace more than 20 enforcement agencies into one, which will be the right direction to implement improvement to the country border control, which is the 20 agencies will be unified, including the immigration, marquis, and RMCD, without compromising security element. Instead, we will utilize technology by following the good practice of several countries. This proposal arises following the issue of congestion at the Johor Causeway. So that's the latest issue lah under the custom or under the indirect tax. Okay, the next one, this actually the previous one, but I just try to share lah. Based on the former Prime Minister, it mentioned that under SST there will be more tax evasion. So they will have comparative with the GST, the GST will reduce the tax evasion and avoidance, then also cover for the black economy, illicit capital outflow, migrant worker remittance, and tourism industry. So that's I quote from that his statement. You can check the reference link given for further understanding, or maybe you can discuss with your lecturer in the class to compare how the SST and the GST function or the benefit under the tax structure lah. So that's all my presentation and explanation. I hope you can understand because I'm quite hurry because my time is already 4 o'clock. Then I need to have a time for you all to give Q&A session so that we can have a both communicate, not the one way communicate, but two-way communicate is good lah. So this my quote: live as if you are were to die tomorrow, learn as if you are were to live forever. So I hope my inspirational quotes can motivate you to learn and love the indirect tax. And also I can promote if you have interested to join the RMCD in future, please, I'm welcome you. We need the best, the cream among the cream, or the best among the best to join our department in future. So I got a quiz, but this quiz is quite easy. Maybe you can give the answer to your lecture lah. Then I open for the Q&A session if you have.
Okay, we open for the Q&A session from the floor. Any students wants to ask questions, you can ask in the chat room, or you can unmute and just convey your question to our speaker. They try to digest everything, I think. But it's a lot, actually.
Actually, the slide more than 65 slide. So
Yeah.
it's so I hope this session can cover the syllabus of indirect tax under the
Indirect tax
advanced
topic.
taxation. So the lecturer
Yes.
maybe after this just come to the class and have a discussion only. So the student can read and find out the further information later on.
Yeah.
Or is it the information I given is quite detailed?
Very detailed, and I think it's quite resourceful. And dia memang kenyataan kan daripada daripada apa yang Tuan Faiz buat. So memang bagi banyak info lah kepada student, so they can see what is the real world is talking about kan. Kami boleh buat revision lah on the calculation part in the class.
Actually, calculation part tu saja letak untuk reduce the boringness or sleepiness because evening time after full in stomach, then
Yeah.
sit in the good condition room or aircon, then because the subject is quite dry, but your calculation just to give the active brain cell.
Faiz, we got a question from Encik Amin, our lecturer here. Dia tanya, dari target 53 bilion untuk 2023, dah kutip berapa dah setakat Oktober 2023?
Oktober tu tak ada data lagi sebab biasanya kita akan bagi data internally dalam kepada ketua pengarah. Biasanya bulan tu kena cukup dulu. So So if
Okay,
I'm not
so far.
mistake, if I'm not mistake, last time until September dalam 49 ke 48 macam tu. 49.48
Oh,
bilion.
so nearing the target lah. Target 50 billion.
Tapi
Nearing the target.
untuk makluman doktor, target 53 bilion tu pun dah 2-3 kali revise tu.
Okay.
Maksudnya dah 2-3 kali revise. Revise dia bukan makin turun, makin naik. So
Makin naik.
kalau pemain bola tu dia punya goal tu makin lama makin jauh. So sama juga pun macam income tax, sebab from time to time MOF will dia akan panggil bos-bos ni lah, pihak atasan LHDN dengan custom dan duduk dengan pegawai perancangan ekonomi. They will revise the revenue collection lah. So memang dia akan sentiasa naik. Revision tu akan ada. Macam tahun lepas saja revision sampai 4 kali. Tahun ni saya dengar dah 2 kali dah revise punya target. Tapi for the custom part, we try our best lah to fulfill the target given by the MOF. So hope you all pray that we are in healthy condition to fulfill the target.
Given the
So
economic slowdown pun, the target is quite macam tinggi juga kan.
yes, doktor. Betul. Sebenarnya itu target yang kita collect, doktor. Bear in mind, custom bagi facilitation. Facilitation ni macam before this we call cukai terkorban. But right now we try to define the meaning facilitation. Macam saya sebut tadi, macam kita ada FTA. Bila FTA ditandatangan, barang-barang daripada serta negara tu, dia dapat pengurangan cukai, import apa semua. Itu adalah pengecualian. Termasuk juga mana barang-barang yang ekspor kita beri exemption. Itu pengecualian tu adalah bawah facilitation. Dan untuk maklumat doktor, Johor saja facilitation macam cover petroleum dekat Tanjung Langsat, Pengerang pun 50 bilion for facilitation. Tapi benda tu kita tak nyatakan dalam our KPI sebab MOF nakkan cukai yang collect. But the facilitate we given. Facilitate ni dia punya influence, impact dia kepada employment rate, peluang pekerjaan. Industri tu berkembang macam mana. Sepatutnya kalau social study behavior dia kena kira tu. Macam mana facilitation ataupun exemption figure tu quite a lot. Johor saja quite a lot given to the industry. How they maximize the figure to give the benefit to them and the country. Macam saya cakap tadi lah, macam peluang pekerjaan. Apa lagi? Merancakkan ekonomi, industri. So benda tu custom pun sekarang tengah study balik kami punya KPI untuk facilitation. Yang target Dr. Amin sebut pasal 53 bilion tu ada lebih kepada revenue collection. Bear in mind, custom pun bagi juga kepada facilitation. Sebab facilitation custom memang agak tinggi. Kalau betul-betul nak collect, kita tak bagi langsung facilitation, saya rasa indirect tax untuk Malaysia 200 bilion boleh collect tu. Kita boleh kejar lagi daripada direct tax.
So sebenarnya kita kena measure lah berapa payback ya. Bila kita bagi insentif tu, how much is the payback that kita dapat dari non-monetary lah. Employment dan semua tu kita kena kira balik lah before we offer the incentive kan. To cover compensate.
Sebab ada setengah negara dia buat tau social study tu kesan the influence impact of the exemption tax incentive given. Ni boleh buat tajuk thesis PhD ni kalau tak ada case lagi ni.
Boleh jom buat. Lagi satu soalan ni. Faiz. mohon respon. Apa ni, Cik Amin tanya lagi sekali. Mohon respon Tuan tentang cadangan MCA untuk laksana GST pada kadar yang lebih rendah. Faiz boleh respon tak? Faiz.
Okey, ini cadangan saya. Jangan kata ini pendapat jabatan mati saya ni. Ini just pandangan peribadi. Pandangan saya mungkin salah
Okey.
dan tak betul. Tapi sebenarnya untuk laksanakan GST tu, untuk laksanakan semula GST tu sebenarnya memang boleh. Sebab sistem tu memang ada. Cuma kita dah pauskan ataupun matikan dia sekejap. Tapi sistem tu memang ada, kita boleh hidupkan semula dan kita boleh perbaiki. Kalau untuk kadar yang lebih rendah, macam yang lepas kita charge bawah 6%. Mungkin kalau nak reimplementkan balik, mungkin boleh cadangan antara kadar 4 ataupun 5 lebih rendah. Tapi untuk makluman semua, taxable goods dengan taxable services under GST berbanding dengan SST 2.0, GST lagi besar cover dia. Dia punya scope lagi besar untuk taxable services dengan taxable goods compared to the SST. Tapi bila scope dia yang besar, bear in mind, kena ingat juga dalam kepala, during the previous regime, previous former minister Najib Razak, he given the BRIM, bantuan something kan. You can see the amount of bantuan also quite high. Because under the GST regime, it will charge whoever consume the goods or the services. Sama ada the local ke, expatriate ke, immigrant illegally ke, so semua kena bayar. Tapi bila bawah SST ni, dengan subsidinya apa semua secara pukal tu, dia menyebabkan tanggungan kerajaan kepada subsidi tu sangat tinggi lah. Kalau dengan masa era GST tu semua kena bayar, tapi yang mana yang untuk bagi pemberian subsidi bersasar tu secara wang tunai, mungkin boleh bantulah melalui pemberian wang subsidi secara bersasar. Maknanya kita dah identify siapa yang layak berdasarkan dia punya pendapatan ke, dia punya income bersih ke. So itu let the MOF study lah. Okay, ada apa-apa soalan lagi? Dr. Nuraza ada dalam ni. My
Dr. Nuraza
my
ada?
beloved supervisor.
Dr. Nuraza ni Tuan Faiz cari.
So
Okey,
harap
Faiz,
terus
kalau
ya.
apa advice Faiz untuk the student lebih memahami apa indirect tax ni? What is the area yang sebab saya tengok kalau calculation dia more straightforward lah, dia percentage times the value kan. But what is benda yang paling important untuk diorang grasp the knowledge tu untuk indirect tax?
Okay. Indirect tax dari segi calculation memang jenis direct, tapi dia bila melibatkan audit. Audit macam saya sebut tadi, compliance division. Kita ada bahagian pematuhan. Memang officer yang dekat compliance division memang specialize bawah accounting, forensic accounting. Jadi memang kebanyakan officer dalam tu memang student-student accounting lah. Macam saya tak sesuai lah kot, saya bukan student accounting. Jadi bila buat audit ni, dia kadang-kadang audit ni dia akan tengok post importation dengan locally manufacturing. Sebab bila dia buat audit, dia akan study regulation, offence, penalty under the Custom Act, under the Sales Tax, under the Free Zone Act. So dia akan banyak cover act, regulation and orders untuk identify adakah syarikat ni betul-betul highly compliance ataupun they have tried to cheat us or try to do the under declare, or maybe they are doing the business fly by night. Fly by night ni maksudnya company yang hari ni wujud dekat SSM, esok dah tutup. Itu kita panggil fly by night lah. Ataupun container fly by night pun sama juga. Ataupun barang yang ghost container pun kita boleh panggil. Ghost container ni macam barang container ni keluar daripada area free zone ataupun warehouse yang bawah area free zone ataupun LMW. Dalam documentation katanya nak pergi ekspor, contoh ke Thailand, ke Singapura. Tapi barang tu tak pergi ke negara tersebut. Dia pusing balik masuk dalam local market. dia dah lah untung. Dia punya raw material, mesin apa semua dapat pengecualian duty, import, sales tax apa semua. So, bila dia produce locally dan nak export, memang dia tak kena charge lah. Tapi bila dia nak jual dalam tempatan, apa-apa raw material exemption yang dia enjoy before this, dia kena bayar. Dan finish good dia tu kalau tax bawah subject to sales tax pun dia kena bayar juga. Tapi itulah ghost container pun banyak juga fly by night ni. So dia punya challenging dia custom sekarang berbanding custom yang 10 tahun lepas, custom sekarang kena fully knowledge lah dengan semua akta, peraturan dan juga modus operandi dengan juga nature of the business. Modern of nature of business sekarang dia tak macam dulu. Dia nature of business sekarang dia boleh jadi kilang dia di Malaysia tapi pembelinya mungkin di Thailand, dia punya pemborongnya mungkin di Filipina. Macam mana tu? So siapa nak issue siapa, invoice nak issue siapa, delivery note nak issue siapa. Lepas tu kadang-kadang dia tak melibatkan sampai 3 pihak, mungkin sampai 4-5 pihak. Ada rantaian sampai 4-5 pihak. Jadi bila barang-barang tu bergerak, kadang-kadang dokumen tu je yang bergerak across the border, tapi barang masih dalam border. Sebab consumer the end buyer adalah masih dalam Malaysia, tapi different party. Dia boleh jadi juga, itu nature of business sekarang lah. Dan kalau doktor lihat juga macam services perkhidmatan sekarang ni lebih kepada digital. Provider tu mungkin berada di US. Buyer mungkin di Malaysia. Dia jual aplikasi or sistem or whatever program. Tapi dia tak melalui barang secara cross border. Dia hanya pakai email ataupun line internet. So macam mana we as the tax authority to capture? Sebab service provide sekiranya bawah taxable services untuk service tax tu, sekiranya tertakluk, dia kena bayar. Maksudnya pembayar tu yang di Malaysia dia kena accountkan for the service tax yang dia bayar tu lah, pay dia kena accountkan. Tapi itulah sebab bila nak kena accountkan, dia kadang-kadang syarikat yang di luar ni kita kena identify pula bisnes dia macam mana. Macam itulah bisnes perniagaan sekarang kan, dia punya nature dia cepat berubah. Jadi kami di Jabatan Kastam ni kena sentiasa banyak belajar lah macam mana dunia perniagaan ni. Sebab dia perniagaan sekarang ni bukan macam zaman 10 tahun yang lepas. Macam beli barang, hantar cross border, tak. Sekarang ni kadang border yang sama. Yang bergerak tu mungkin dia punya dokumen saja.
Okay. Challenging lah kan. Sekarang sangat-sangat challenging lah. Okay, kita pun kena upskill. Yang mengajar pun kena upskill. Yang belajar pun kena upskill.
Saya harap student-student accounting TISA ni kena sentiasa didedahkanlah dengan nature of business macam mana. Tapi janganlah pula ada niat nak try to cheat the tax authority.
Ya. Belajar untuk benefit lah, bukan belajar untuk jadi ni kan. Have a tax knowledge to comply actually. Right. Okay Faiz, Faiz sekarang ni dah 4:24. Kita nak tanya lagi lah. Ada soalan lagi tak from the students or from our colleagues? If no, we want to have a photo session. So we give time 1 minute to switch on the camera, everyone. And in the meantime, I will share the PDF form for attendance to the student.
The slide I will share with the Dr. Rosniza. Later on, Dr. Rosniza will distribute to all of you lah. Cuma slide tu dia tak akan compromise semua apa yang saya tunjukkan sebab ada certain macam Excel tu is actually quite confidential lah, sebenarnya just for the study purpose. Tapi as long as saya tunjukkan tu sebab I want to the student understand macam mana basic calculation tu, understanding the basic calculation.
The hardest part is to find the value. Kalau the value tak betul ni, semua benda tak betul. Okay, switch on the camera please. Dr. Ariati already. Okay, thank you. Yeah, I've checked the attendance form in the chat room. You can click the link and fill up the Google form. Quick, turn on the camera, please. Give your cooperations. Don't worry, you are handsome and beautiful. But just turn on the camera. Put a sweeter smile. Okay, at least kita bagi one page lah penuh. Bagi masa sikit lagi. Sikit je, Tuan Faiz.
Boleh, tak ada masalah, Doktor. It's okay.
Dia yang satu kamera 4 orang ni rugi ha. Alright, we don't know which page we are. Okay, just keep on smiling. I'll count 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3 for the first page. Okay, second page. The third page. And the next page. Yeah, I think no more camera turn on the sixth page. Okay, so thank you. And okay, QR code for the staff, Dr. Ayati. So, Dr. Faiz, thank you for the sharing. It's very insightful. You have give detail apa ni, example on the calculation. Thanks for that, and also the insight into what is latest development in terms of incentives. Okay, is very useful. It's very insightful for us about that. Okay, for the
You're welcome,
lecturers,
Doctor.
you can scan on the QR code.
Tuan Faiz, thank you so much for taking your time out of
Sama-sama,
your
Doktor. You're welcome.
busy schedule to share your
You're
knowledge
welcome.
and experience with us. So
You're
thank
welcome,
you.
Doktor.
Thank you again. Nanti jangan serik datang lagi. Join next year
InsyaAllah,
pula.
Doktor.
Next year pula.
Dr. Doraza also say thank you very much, Faiz, for the valuable sharing.
You're welcome, Doctor.
Okay, I think with that, I think we can end our session. And thank you for the students who joined. Thank you for the colleagues who joined, especially for the text unit. And thank you for the question from Encik Amin and from the cooperation of the participants of the students who answering the questions from Tuan Faiz. Okay, till we meet
Okay.
again.
Okay, thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Roy, QR code terlindung.
Kak Yati, QR code tu terlindung. Ah, maybe dari ni kot. Dari apa? Pizza punya komputer kot. Dia ada banyak apa? Siapa dari mana?
Fiza.
QR code tertutup dah Pizza.
Tu dah kat dia. Nak bagi tahu dah kat dia.
Bagi tahu dah. Okay. Students, for student, you don't have to scan the QR code. Student, you just fill up the Google form that I have shared in the chat room. So Kak Yati, kita boleh end the session dah kot?
Okay, thank you everyone. Thank you Rose. Kita end the session dah nah.
Ya, kita end. Okay, Assalamualaikum and have a good day.